Hey, some friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Symptomistic, like optimistic, but make it Sims. And we are here with another Creator Sim, No CC, Growing Together for the new LP. Whew, mouthful. There are two adult Sims in this LP, and so if you haven't seen the first one, please watch the other video. It'll be linked. And this is the Sim that will be living with the other Sim, whose name is Elizabeth. This is Jessica Montreal. I probably will call her Montreal sometimes because I just feel like she might actually be more Montreal than Jessica. So some people might call her Jessica. Some people might call her Montreal. And I feel like I wanted to get these videos out like closer together, but I wasn't feeling well. And then I was like cleaning out my mods folder and it was just a lot, but it actually probably hasn't been that long. I don't know. I feel like the Sims community moves so fast. Like you fall off for 2 days and you're like, what the hell is going on? Back to Jessica Montreal. And let's talk a little bit about her story. So she grew up in San Mai with a single dad, and her dad took care of her, and she's always kind of had like a cool vibe. Like even when she was like a little kid, she had a naturally cool vibe, and she is best friends with Elizabeth, who they kind of met. Let's say they met in high school and they just were like connected, even though Elizabeth had a very different upbringing than Jessica. So Jessica's upbringing was a little more free, a little more, I guess, artsy. We can kind of say, and just she was given a lot of freedom, while Elizabeth grew up in like a very religious household and wasn't given a lot of freedom. And sometimes that meant like Elizabeth would get picked on, and Jessica kind of loved that like Elizabeth was like just such a pure heart person. Like she always kind of protected her. And that's just kind of like how their friendship developed even to this day as adults. Now let's get a little bit into Jessica's style. So I wanted it to be cool, kind of funky, like she's not afraid to experiment. And that was difficult. Listen, just like the other video, I struggled a lot making these Sims with no CC. Like I couldn't, this is like the first time that I felt like, oh, I can't wait to get CC and mods back in my game. Like I haven't felt like that for a while. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to figure it out. So yeah, she's very confident. So I made her self-assured. She's into arts. I think that's part of why, a part of like growing up in San Moschino and being exposed to a lot of things. I also made her adventurous. I feel like she wants to try new things, and like I see that adventurous, like they have the, what is it, like the ski cap or the snowboarding helmet on, and I feel like it's leading the sim towards Mount Komorabi. Now I may or not, listen, I don't know. We're just gonna see. I'm just gonna say she's adventurous and see what options that gives me. And I'll say she wants to be a good chef, but her aspiration can change. Like she is just kind of like, I will say Elizabeth looks younger but acts older, and Jessica kind of looks older but acts younger, but they're both like 30-ish, yeah, early 30s. Their birthdays aren't that far apart. I guess for Sims, it probably like in human form, it would probably be some months apart, but it's like for the Sims, it's like a week maybe apart. I really like this dress from Tartosa Wedding Stories that I put on her. I hadn't seen it in green because you don't always look through all the swatches, but I felt like in green it looks nice. And I guess I should just tell you, for formal outfits, I kind of think of my Sims going to like a really, really nice restaurant, or maybe being like a wedding guest. I don't, so anything that feels like fancier than that, like my Sims probably will not have in their formal outfits unless I'm doing an event, something specific. Oh, also, I hated the earrings. All the earrings look so plasticky. I wanted to give her those earrings, but then it's like the same as Elizabeth's. But like, yeah, so many of these earrings look like plastic earrings, and I hate it. I really hated it. But I had to keep going. I just kept telling myself, we will change it. Like, we're going to fix her thick eyeliner around her eyes. Like, once we get CC in the game, we're going to tweak it a little bit. And so, let's see, what else? I'm trying to hold back on the storyline for this, but I guess I can't. So, I know you all want to figure out how Jessica and Montreal are related, or like how they're connected, since if you look through, like, they're both hetero women. And so the story of this LP is that these two best friends decide to have a baby together, even though, like, they're not married, they're not a couple. And I think I talked a little bit about this in Elizabeth's story. Her story was kind of like she wanted that, like, picket fence, that stereotype of a traditional family, and she expected to have it by a certain time and she didn't. Oh, also, I really liked her gym outfit. I thought it was like very chill and cute, and I don't use these Discover University shorts enough. Okay, back to the story. And so, yeah, Elizabeth didn't really get that. And, she was having a conversation with Jessica about like how she feels like, she wants to have kids and she feels like she's behind. And Jessica was kind of like, why don't we do it? Like, we've read in like anthropology and history classes about like women only communities, and they read an article about some friends that like decided to just raise their kids together. And Jessica's like, why don't we do it? So now, since we're talking about Jessica, we should talk about like why Jessica would sign up for something like that, being that she's very different than Elizabeth. Now, Jessica is much more adventurous. Like, Jessica doesn't always think things through as much as the next person would. And so that's one of the reasons why she wouldn't like struggle to come up with like to be in a non-traditional quote unquote type of situation with her friend. I think she is more willing to try something that's like quote unquote outside the box. So that's one reason. Jessica also loves children, even though she was kind of like, if I have them, if I don't, whatever. She does love children. She loves being around children. And so she feels like she would be a good parent. And then the third thing is that Jessica isn't really into commitment. Like, I didn't put her as non-committal, one, because I don't have my more traits, so I couldn't. But two, I also think she's not someone that's like intentionally non-committal. I think she just is more seeking new things and she hasn't found the right person. Like, she can take it or leave it. She's kind of cooler than most Sims anyway. And so, yeah, she doesn't have a partner. She's not looking for a partner. And so she's kind of like, why not? Why not go into this thing with my best friend? She also is, again, protective of her friend. And she doesn't really want her friend to do this alone, and she feels like she's going to be by her friend's side anyway. So, why not? And that's kind of the gist of the plan. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense. So, just a little bit of what is it called? Disclaimer. Yeah, a little bit of a disclaimer here. I do not have any experience with this type of family structure. I do not know anyone who has done this family structure. Like, I, like Jessica, have read like some articles about people who have done this, and I just thought it was fascinating. I thought it would be interesting to do something on the channel that I haven't seen. If anybody else is doing something similar, let me know in the comments. I would like to watch. And with that said, I may do things that, like, let's say you grew up in this type of family structure, definitely let me know some tips or anything, because I may do things that you're like, that doesn't make sense. So let me know. We can play along together. And that also to be said, I don't know how this is gonna work out. I don't know if, this is gonna be drama free or full of drama. And, I'm gonna let the Sims play it out, but this is not representative of that family structure in any way. Got it? Cool. Anyway, you see I've done a couple of outfits so far, and yeah, it looks like I mostly use the more recent packs that have came out, like the shorts are paranormal. Going back to the party outfit, the top was from, I think, high school years, and so that was really cute. So I found some cute things here and there. Also, a trick that I do when I'm not 100% sure on the outfit, I make like two hot weather wears, like up at the top, it'll say 1, 2, and I'll duplicate it and I'll like switch back and forth until I'm sure which one it is. Definitely not making multiple outfits for each outfit type because I don't have that much. I guess I don't have that much in my game that I was like happy and satisfied with. But they will move to San Sequoia. That's definitely, I can tell you that. Um, Jessica kind of was like, I'm hearing about San Sequoia being more inclusive of all types of family. And so they definitely want to move to an area where some people wouldn't judge them for doing something that's kind of different out of the box. And it's also like, I guess, like a heavily gentrified city. And, Jessica is all about the new, even though she does respect like history and stuff like that. She is, she's kind of a little bit on the fence about like the whole gentrification thing, but it is a new experience for her and a new place, and it's different than San Moschino a lot. And so yeah, she does want to have that experience. But it looks like I'm wrapping up these outfits already, so I will stop babbling on about this series and tell you more once we get actually into the LP. I'm symptomistic, like optimistic, but make it Sims. Please leave comments and talk about this because I really want to talk about this LP like a lot, even more than my other LPs. So comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye, some friends.